Hi guys, so you may hear my dog running around upstairs. I am filming in my basement. A couple of tips for those of you who said you have some anxiety about public speaking. First of all, let me just say nerves and anxiety are normal for everyone, no matter how experienced you are. We all get them. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips, some things that we can do physically to make us feel a bit more confident and to get those nerves out of our system. Okay, so I wanted to give you more of a full body view. Unfortunately, I can't quite get my feet, but you'll get the idea. So one of the main things that we can do when we're nervous is to take what's called a Superman pose. Basically, that means let me move some junk at my feet, take a nice wide stance. So shoulder length or even wider with those knees. And think Superman, so put those hands on your hips, lift that chest up and lift that head up to the sky. So all of the poses that we're doing today are about opening up the chest and the torso here, which is actually a very vulnerable position for us. But the more that we open this and we lift it, the more confident we actually become. Our system is one. So our brain will release chemicals, and that chemical can take us into a physical response. Our physicality can tell our brain to release those chemicals. So what we're doing is we're kind of cutting off that chemical release and we're redirecting it. So this is one quick and easy pose that you can take, a little Superman pose, just sideways. You're growing nice and tall here. That chest is coming up and forward, and you're nice and open and big and wide. Okay, so that's number one, the Superman pose. Super simple, super quick, and easy to do. You can also look up Superman and see his poses. You can do that in a chair too, by crossing your heel over your knee and opening up like this in a chair. That will also help you. If you wanted to even do this pose, you probably could, and it gets similar effect here. What we want to avoid doing though is sticking our butts out and arching the back right here, because that's not healthy for our spinal system. So we want to make sure that we stay nice and long in the spine. So that's number one. Number two is a simple thing to kind of redirect that system again. So here you want your feet to be underneath your hips, or if it's more comfortable for you, underneath your shoulders. I'm a hip person. So make sure that those toes are pointing forward and they're nice and parallel like that. Give some movement in the knees there. You don't want to lock the knees because then we're adding some muscle tension in our thighs and we don't want to grip. So a little movement there in the knees. Allow those arms to hang and relax down by your sides. This will also mean that the shoulders aren't lifting up, but they're dropping down. So if you need to, you can kind of shake those down a little bit. And I've got a dog coming in to join us here. Think about lengthening and growing through the spine there. So we're almost like we've got a string. If you've got some hair, you can find that string just pulling you up and floating that head up towards the sky there. I've got nice long hair. You can try and do that. And then think of a string at the opposite end of your spine, at your coccyx, doing the same. So we're lengthening all throughout our spinal system here. And then think about some strings attached to those shoulders, lengthening out sideways. So if you were to open your arms here and think about almost a little bit of a butterfly reaching those arms back. And you can see how my chest sort of opens up and just comes forward slightly there. Think about the same thing, some strings attached to your hips here, widening and opening that pelvis out to the side. And then you can give yourself just a little loosening jiggle here. So once you find this position and you get comfortable in this position, think about keeping your eyes kind of on a level plane here, which means your chin needs to be on a tabletop level plane as well. So we want to make sure that the chin isn't lifting up and that tabletop is resting at the back of our jaw, and that our chin isn't what's resting on that tabletop, but we want that nice jawline right here to be nice and flat. So that means we are here in our lifted position. And our eyes can then look forward and pick something to actually look at and observe. You want to be looking at something. And then what you want to do is let that belly be loose so that the breath comes in and out through the belly and it's not happening in the shoulders. So let that breath come in through the nose for whatever your normal breath count is. Maybe it's 4 in, and then just a nice gentle turnaround and 4 out through the mouth. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously I'm cheating because I'm counting, but it would be in through the nose, down into the belly, and then out through the mouth. Just a relaxed jaw and lips. So something like this. It's really easy to see where that breath movement happens in your body if you lay down on the floor. Okay, now the last thing that you can do is you can do that little breathing sequence that we just did, the equal count in through the nose and out through the mouth, but you can add a little sort of yoga stretching, it's a little dance stretching here. So as we inhale, we go and exhale, and inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. So we're still keeping everything wide and open here, and we're keeping those shoulders down as we're breathing in and out, right? And then we're gathering that energy again. And I'm just bending at my knees, making sure the knees go over the toes there so that we don't risk any kind of injury. So there's 3 things you can do to help you as you're trying to deal with those nerves. Now, these chemicals that get us nervous, they stay in our system for 10 to 30 minutes. So actually, it's a good idea to do this 10 to 30 minutes before you go to do your speech. And do it again right before you do your speech to help you remain calm through your 10-minute speech. It's not even 10 minutes, it's 5 minutes. So 3 simple tips. Superman pose, opening up the chest. Everything's about opening up the chest. A nice calm pose, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for an equal count. And then a nice big breath in and out using the whole body, getting the whole body engaged there. Good luck.